So Isabella, tell us about launching a product and using search, find, buy, or rank and bank or whatever people like to call it to rank your product.
Yes, this is a very important question. I would say thank you. This is probably one of the most crucial parts of your success on Amazon. Would you say that that's true?
100%. And it's the first, I think, 2 months, I believe, is like the most crucial. 4 weeks for sure.
So the best way to do it, let's say you already have this community that you've created from Instagram, from Facebook, and let's say you have 100 people. Now comes the important part. What you want them to do is to follow the most organic way, which you will hear people say is search, find, buy. And it's exactly what it sounds. You're searching for this keyword for this specific product. You find it, whether it's on page 2 or 8 or 10, and then you buy it. But what you don't want to do, if you can avoid this, is not using super URLs. And sometimes people are asking, I hear it's good to use super URLs, it's bad. It's not good or bad. When you first launch a product, your product will most likely be nowhere to be found. I would definitely use a Pixelfy link, or you can use Helium 10 gems, or whichever one you want to use. And you can do that, but I wouldn't do it for longer than a day or two. What your main purpose with a super URL is to make sure that it's getting so many hits until your keyword is actually searchable. So let's say it's nowhere to be found. You do the super URL for 2 days, your product shows up on page 9. Perfect. Don't freak out. Don't say, oh my God, it's on page 9, nobody's going to find it. This is where the search, find, buy kicks in and it makes magic. So you have Anna, let's say from Instagram, who's been so kind. She's been in conversation with you. Say, Anna, you know what? I would like for you to do me a favor. See if, and gamify it. I think people love this. Let's gamify it a little bit. Can you do me a favor? I really want to see how the SEO works for Amazon. Can you type in this keyword and tell me what page is on? That's how I would start it. And then they're like, you know what? I've been to page 1, page 2, page 3. I found it on page 1. Oh my God, Anna, you are the best. Thank you so much. Since you already found it on page 1, do you mind going back and see if it's still there? You can make this as many steps as you want. And she's like, okay, I found it on page 9. Can you read the reviews, tell me what you see on the page, buy it, and then I'll send you the money. Or you can send them the money before. But what this does, if you do this 5 times, 10 times, 20 times in a day, the absolute magic of this will be shown right away. I mean, of course, competitive products such as supplements and maybe toys and other categories will take a little longer, but you will see the effects right away. What do I mean by that? If your rank is like 100,000, let's say, you are able to see, okay, if I do 5 of these orders per day, it moved from 100 to 99,000. Okay, so it's not very fast. What do? You do more. Okay, we're doing 5, let's try 10. With 10, you kind of try to find the sweet spot. And now you're like at 50,000. Oh my God, this works. So you continue with that. If you want to up the game a little bit, you do a little more. And if you do this consistently enough for a certain period of time, you will see results. So CPR from Helium 10 actually says, a launch could be up to 8 days. What we've seen with Rank Bell, the longer you do this, the better. Why do I say this? When you do a launching or a ranking campaign, what you want to do is show Amazon that your product is so desirable that people keep going to find your product even though it's on page 9. And what Amazon does at this point is like, wow, this guy is selling really good. What does Amazon want? They want to make money. So Amazon will help you by giving you rank. That's all this is. They're like, okay, let's move this guy from page 9 to page 6 because people are looking. Let's make it easier for them. And you keep doing this, and next thing you know, you're on page 1. So what you don't want to do is cut it too short, because a lot of people, they get to page 1, they get excited. They're like, you know what, let me rank 10 more keywords, or let me rank all these products. It's good, but don't forget that, all this hard work will go to waste. So why do I say this? Because what you're doing, maybe a lot of competitors are doing the same exact thing. And Amazon is still checking on you. Remember, this is all data Amazon is collecting. They want to see that your product is worthy of. So if you're showing Amazon that you're doing every single day 10 products, 10 sales, 10 sales, 10 sales, they'll put you on page 1. But then if you're on page 1 and you no longer get any sales, you're going to fall back. Not that Amazon is punishing you. It's just that Amazon is giving the other people who are selling the same privilege like they did you. So if you no longer sell by being on page 1, they will give that spot to somebody else. It's as simple as that. So what I would do if I were you, instead of 8 days, I would try to prolong it 2 weeks, a month. Again, you just want to show, even if you don't do 10 a day, because that may sound like, oh my God, I'm doing like 300 units, but keep giving it sales. So another thing where you could do is once you're on page 1, let's say we were doing 10 sales a day, and now you're on page 1, you're getting 5 sales organic. Supplement that with PPC. Get 5 sales. What you want to do is you want to make sure that you have kind of the same number. I mean, if you're getting 8 and not 10, it's fine. But I'm saying don't draw from 10 to 1. And once you do this long enough, Amazon is going to be like, okay, he is worthy of, and he will keep you there for a longer time.
Yeah, and I would randomize it too. So
of course,
don't try and go, 5, 5. Yeah, exactly. Another thing is, Isabella touched on the BSR bestseller rank. Just to explain to everyone, basically number 1 is the best selling product in your general category, so health and household or whatever, personal care. And then obviously when the lower you go, 1 million, 1,500,000, that means you're worse and worse. So when you first launch, you'll start at a certain number. Don't worry about that. But as you get closer and closer to 1, it's just an indication. You can't affect that number. It just, if you're in a race, and you're running and you surpass someone, then your ranking improves, right? And you get closer to number 1. It's exactly the same thing. So don't worry about changing that number. It's just a measurement of how well you're selling. Now, the second thing that I want to do is, if you're on page 9, one thing that you could do in the first days, aggressively bid on that keyword in an exact PPC campaign. That will at least show you maybe on page 3 or something. So, because maybe sometimes going to page 9, people will be like, listen, like I don't have time for this. If you do notice that kind of reaction, go aggressive on PPC exact campaign. One campaign, one ad group, and then just that one keyword is exact. Really big bid, $4 bid. Don't worry, it's not gonna spend the $4. Make it a big budget, $500 a day budget. Again, it's not gonna spend all the money. You're gonna show up maybe page 2 or 3. They're never gonna show you on page 1 because they need to prove that you have relevancy. So, but you'll at least be somewhere where people, okay, they click twice and they found you and they're good to buy you.
And I would even do this. So if you don't want to do a super URL, this is exactly what I would do.
Way better. PPC is the best.
So I would do PPC, and then if you have those 10 sales from your buyers, you can tell them, hey, 4 of you do the PPC exact term, and 6 do search, find, buy, and you can change them every day. And I think PPC is such a wonderful tool. And what you want to do, you want to show Amazon that you're utilizing everything that they have, whether if it costs money, it costs money. But I would do that in the same time, and you will see even better results.
And it is an investment for sure. And a lot of people are worried about the cost, but trust me, guys, even if you gave away 300 units, it's a very, very, very small price. Right now I'm selling in the 4,000 units a month. So giving away 300 units got me this far. Like, do you think that it really matters? In the long term, you're looking at it short term. Oh my God, my budget, I'm spending $5,000 on a launch. It's nothing compared to how much money you're going to make in the long term. And we both, are living proof of that.
Yes.